Hello, this is Anastasia. I'm a graphic designer and create wedding invitations in our Zazzle store called Elegant Invites. And today I created this video because I want to show you how easy it is to personalize an invitation on the Zazzle platform. So I've scrolled down to give you an example and opened up this invitation here in another tab. Now, one of the things that Zazzle does is they give you a lot of different papers that you can choose to print your invitation on, and you can have a look through there and see what you might like for this design. Maybe you prefer the warmth of the felt ecru, and you can see in the image here how the invitation changes its look and the colors change based on the paper that you choose. So I'm going to go with matte. That's my favorite paper type for wedding invitations because the colors just come out beautiful. Now, there's two options that you have here. One, you can go under Edit Design, or two, you can go Personalize this template. So we're going to go into Personalize this template, and we're just going to replace the placeholder text with our own. So let's go Church of Christ. And it'll be a Saturday, and let's say we're getting married in June 12th, 2022. And we'll have dinner and dancing to follow. I will marry my husband, John Surridge, and I'm Anastasia. Ketron as my unmarried name. The location address, well, you'll just input your own there. And this is where, at the top, where it says edit as needed, kindly join us for. This particular wedding invitation has been designed for a wedding where the actual bride and groom are hosting the event. With weddings, the first section of the invitation right here is always about who is hosting the event. So you want to make sure you get the right template for your hosting style. If parents are hosting, then this template won't work, and I'll show you in a minute what to do in that case. So I will just write something different here. We would, if I can type, love you to join us in celebrating the wedding of Anastasia and John. And that actually should change. And you can change this too if you want to, if you wanted it to say something different. Now, you might say, okay, that's great, but I'd like to actually change the design. So before you get to that though, if this is perfect for you and you can just click done. There you go. Now see how that just changed? So it does take a little bit of time sometimes for the display to actually show you what changes you've made. When that's done, you can just click Add it to Cart. Now, the other thing that's great about Zazzle is you don't have to order all your invitations without seeing what they look like. So you can order just one. See here in the quantity next to the price? You can order one, or you can order a number of different invites. You will save money as you order in more volume. But just to find out how the one prints, you can order one and click Add it to Cart. Now, if you decide at this point that you need to get more information to put into the invitation, or maybe you'd like to put a photo on the back or something, if you exit out of this now, it will save in your saved designs. So if I go up here and I look at saved designs, I can open that up, and this will save in saved designs when you close the page. But let's say, as I mentioned earlier, that you want to come back in and you want to change this a little bit. Let's say that you don't like that gold on there and you'd like to take that off. Here's how you do that. Go into Edit Design. That's the blue button there. And this opens up the Zazzle Design Editor. And in the middle you can see all the text and how it's presented. It'll fill in a minute with all the details. On the right hand side, you've got all the details about what's happening in this layer, or in this line here, that is highlighted, and that's highlighted here on the left. So you've got, if you're familiar with working with layers, your layers are on the left hand side, and the details about that layer are on the right. So let's say, as we mentioned earlier, that you thought you might want to get rid of those gold specks. So you just come down here and search through the layers to find which one's the gold text. Now this one happens to be grouped. I particularly make a lot of my designs anyway with grouped images like that. So if you can't be sure what that is, just see this little eyeball here that shows, just click on that. Oh, sorry, wrong thing to say. That we just hid that. So that's one way of doing it. Otherwise, you can delete it. But that'll tell you if that group is the gold. So since that was, you can click on that and it will hide that. If you want to get rid of the marble in the background, you can do the same thing. So then that gives you just a plain white background. And that may be more in keeping with your style. Actually, I think this one is the marble. There it is. Yep. Now, you may say, oh, I love that, but you know what? Let's put that gold back on because it's feeling a little bit sparse to me at the moment. Needs a little bling. So all you have to do is unhide that layer, and there you go. Now, if you wanted to put a photo on here, there's two places you can put the photo. One is you can put it behind all of the images, or behind all of the design elements, or you can put it on the back. So since we're on this front page, I'll show you how to do that first. The order of the layers is, at least when I design things, that the background elements are at the bottom of this stack of layers. So if you go in behind the rectangle, this is the rectangle here, you're going to want all of this to overlay the photo. I mean, in my example. So you'll go down here to group and highlight that. Go over here to My Files and click Upload Images. And then I'll just have to go in here to my Documents, Assets, Placeholder Photos. Oops, wrong one. Engagements, and I want that one. So you upload that. And you can see here, there's a little progress bar telling you how quickly the image is uploading or not. And it's almost done. And there we go. Now, it automatically, I forgot about that to mention it, it automatically will put every new layer at the top of the stack of layers. So you need to click this, hold down the mouse, and drag this layer down to beneath the rectangle there. And then everything will print on top of it. Now in this case, you're going to need to change all the color of the text layers. But first, before you do that, do you notice this little dotted line here inside the red line? Likewise on this one, you want to come over here and you want to click Fill. That will expand the photo so it's full bleed. You run the risk of the photo actually not cutting off properly and you have a bit of white edge around it when it prints, and we don't want that. So let's change all of this text to white because you can't see it. So I'm going to highlight the first layer. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and I'm going to go down and highlight the last text layer. Now we have a block of layers that are all highlighted in blue. I can come over here to color and change it to white. And now everything's white and you can read the design. You can read the wording over the design. If you wanted to place the photograph on the back of the invitation, same thing. Now if I go into My Files, you'll find that the image that you just uploaded is right here. Click on that and that'll fill the back. Make sure you click on Fill so it goes full bleed, and go back to the layers and then go to the front of the image. Now you can test what it your invitation looks like here by clicking on preview. That's the front. That's the back. Different options there. If you say, no, I think, so there's two options. One is you can put a photo on the front and the back. Another one is you just don't have a photo on the front. In which case I would go back and, actually it's going to be tricky in this case because I had different color type. So let's change it all first to purple, plum purple, and let's get rid of the photo by deleting that there. And now you're back to the other, but I didn't have this type in purple. So if you highlight the layers that are in lowercase text, go over here, hit black, and you can return it to what it is, or what it was. And then just click done. You can then add it to your cart or keep it in your saved designs, which it'll do automatically. Now, this will suit either a casual or a formal wedding where the couple is paying and hosting for the event. But if your parents are, this template won't work. I'll show you why. When you're editing the text, and here's how you do that in the design editor. This is the text layer in the beginning. You're going to edit that. So let's say Mr. and Mrs. Wallace Catron request the honor of your presence at the wedding of. So here's two problems. Number one, the text layer is already beginning to run into the graphics, so that creates problems with that. But not only that, you need another line of text here, and this probably shouldn't be in that script, just so that everything looks good. Well, we know that this is a real problem for brides and grooms, so what we do actually at Elegant Invites is we create different invitations based on hosting style. So if you like this particular color, you can go into the collection that's linked in the product description, and you can view all the different styles of hosting, whether the bride's parents are paying, whether both sets of parents are paying, if the couple is paying, or if it's a unique situation where you have divorced couple parents are paying, or maybe just one parent is paying, or something like that. But you'll find all the options in there, and if there's something you need that's not in there, just let us know and we can design it for you. But I'll show you an example. Up here I've got another invitation that I've designed, which is specifically for a formal event where the couple's parents are paying. Can you see, or the bride's parents? Can you see here how we've got that text and how it's quite different? And it is more formal the way the text is laid out. You've got all three names, first, middle, and last, of the bride and the groom. And that's always indicative of a very more formal event. And here in this particular invitation, you've also you're honoring not only her parents, but his parents, when you say the son of Mr. and Mrs. George Williams. So there's lots and lots of ways to go about it. Normally with online invitation templates, you'll just get one choice and you have to try to figure it out yourself and make it work, and that's particularly difficult. Typesetting is not an easy thing to do, and so we try to make it easy for you because we know that wedding planning takes a long time. It can take over your life, and if you're time poor, you just can't afford all that time. So please be sure and like this invitation. Go to my, forget I just said that. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps, and thank you. Goodbye.